Welcome to this moment. Before we begin, allow yourself to simply be here. Breathe. Notice the aliveness in your body, the stillness beneath the surface. We live in a world that constantly pulls us outward, into thought, into reaction, into noise. But the truth I want to share with you today does not belong to the world. It belongs to presence. You see, there is a deep power that arises not from doing more, saying more, or showing more, but from being, from resting in the silent awareness of now. And the most dangerous illusion the mind clings to is certainty. The belief that it knows, that it must announce, explain, or defend, that it must label every experience and control every outcome. But the truth is this: what you truly are needs no announcement. Real power does not speak. It is. It resides in the formless, in stillness, in awareness, in the space between thoughts. In a society obsessed with declarations and validation, choosing silence is a radical act. People post their goals, their dreams, their identities, hoping to be seen. But who is it that wants to be seen? It is the ego, the false self, the story in the mind that says, I am this, I am doing that. And while the world claps, the soul grows quiet, unseen, unfelt. But when you no longer seek approval, when you no longer need to be heard or understood, something extraordinary happens. You become rooted in being. Your actions flow not from fear or lack, but from presence and peace. You move without needing to prove. You speak only when the silence tells you it is time. And when you do act, it is not reaction. It is pure response. Conscious, clear, without resistance. You are no longer driven by outcome. You are grounded in the now. That is where real transformation begins. Think of a seed. It does not shout, "Look at me, I am becoming a tree." It simply becomes, quietly, naturally. And yet its strength is undeniable. So ask yourself, what are you planting in this moment? Is it noise or stillness? Is it anxiety or presence? Let today be a return to your inner sanctuary, where there is no need to explain, no urge to impress, no fear of being forgotten. In this space, your silence is not empty, it is alive. It is your shield, your guide, your teacher. You don't need to announce your growth. Growth is not for the mind to measure. It is for the being to embody. So as you go forward, I offer you this gentle reminder. Protect your energy, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Honor the stillness within you. Let your silence speak volumes. And let your presence, not your plans, be the loudest thing in the room. Welcome home. Welcome to the now. Silence is not just a weapon. It is the essence of true power. When you no longer feel the need to share your dreams or goals with the world, when you are no longer driven by the urge to be seen or recognized, that is when you begin to awaken. The silence outwardly is merely a manifestation of stillness within. And it is there that true power is born. Not the kind of power that the ego craves. Not control, dominance, or superiority. But the power of presence. A state where you don't need to prove anything to anyone, because you know, not through thought, but through deep inner stillness, that you are on the right path. Most people live in a state of absence from themselves. They chase the future, telling stories about what they will do, what they will achieve. But all of it is just the echo of an ego seeking validation. You don't need that. When you are silent, you withdraw energy from the ego, from the self that always wants to be seen, admired, and stand out. And in that withdrawal, a space of awareness opens up. There is no hurry. There is only effortless action, not driven by fear or desire, but by clarity. You act because it is what needs to be done, in this moment. Not to achieve something in the future, but because this is your nature. Like a lion that does not roar to prove it is strong, it simply knows. And it is this knowing that makes it calm, patient, and full of power. Keep your dream as a sacred seed, not to hide it, but to nurture it. In silence, it takes root deep within your consciousness. In silence, it is not shaken by comments, doubts, or the fears of others. Silence not only protects you from external noise, it also frees you from internal noise. And then, one day, you will not need to say that you have succeeded. You will be the embodiment of it. No applause needed, no spotlight needed, because the peace within you is the greatest achievement. Silence is not a strategy. It is a state of consciousness. When you stop talking about what you will do, when you no longer feel compelled to explain, to announce, to prove, you do not become weaker, but you are entering another dimension, the depth of presence. You begin to feel an inner steadiness, a silent space undisturbed by expectations or judgments. There is no past to justify, no future to worry about, only this moment, where true action arises. Many people talk about their goals as a way to feel like they are getting closer to them. But as Eckhart Tolle once said, thinking about the future is a form of resistance to the present. You haven't started yet, but you think you have, and that deceives the mind. Your ego is satisfied with the idea of success, while in reality, nothing has begun. But when you are silent, you no longer nurture illusions. You do not live in thought, but you live in mindful action. You do not need recognition because you are fully present in the process, not chasing the outcome. Silence is also the door that opens intuition. In the quiet, you begin to listen, not just to others, but to yourself. Intuition does not shout. It does not justify. It only whispers in the space where the ego no longer controls. And from there, you begin to know what is true for you, what no longer serves your journey. When you do not react, you are not controlled. When you do not need to speak, you are not trapped in the stories of the ego. And when you do not seek validation, you begin to feel a profound freedom. A freedom that does not come from the outside world, but from within you. That is why silence is frightening to mediocrity. Because silence means you do not need applause to continue. You are not shaken by praise or criticism. You know, not with reason, but with vibrant presence. Have you ever noticed that truly successful people, not just materially, but in depth, rarely talk about their plans? They do not live in promises. They live in simplicity. And when the time comes, the results appear on their own, without promotion. Silence gives you control over your own emotions. It gives you time to observe rather than react. And as Tolle said, the space between stimulus and response is where true freedom exists. Others may misunderstand your silence. They may think you are doing nothing, but that does not matter. The truth does not need to be defended with words. It protects itself through its presence. And when you feel the urge to speak out, to defend, to prove, to clarify, stop. Observe that urge itself. It is not you. It is the ego, afraid, trying to hold on to control. Instead, hold the space. Give your dream the silence to grow. Because in the early stages, the seed is fragile. It cannot withstand judgment, doubt, or misplaced energy from others. Not because you fear them, but because you respect the process of life. And when you walk without needing to speak first, you are living from a state free from expectations. You don't need a stage, no audience. You only need full awareness in the present, where everything truly begins and all that matters grows. You don't need to speak up. You need presence. You don't need to prove that you are doing something. You just need to be it. Silence is not the absence of sound, but a profound presence. A pure space, unpolluted by the noise of the ego, by the need to be seen, recognized, or welcomed. You need peace. Just like a tree needs time for its roots to grow deep before reaching high, you need space to root yourself in the present moment, not being pulled by the past or the future. That is how you stand firm when storms come, not by shouting to assert strength, but by being so deeply present that nothing can shake you. When you remain silent, you conserve energy. Every time you speak too soon, you not only share ideas, you lose a part of your precious vitality. You give your energy to reactions, to judgments, to expectations that are not yours. And when the ego begins to seek validation, you move away from the inner stillness, where true wisdom is born. The truth is, you don't need to say that you are winning. You just need to be present so deeply that that presence speaks for itself. Maturity does not need to be announced. It is like the dawn, never rushed, never showy, but always arriving. And when it comes, no introduction is needed. You are being invited to live not from the ego, but from awareness. No need for declarations, no need for warnings, no need to defend plans or ideals. Because what truly matters is not whether others know what you are doing, but whether you are fully present in it. No one applauds the writer when they are alone at night, writing lines that may never be read. No one cheers for the one training alone in silence. But in that silence, something is happening. Becoming. Not to achieve something, but to merge with your deepest essence. And when the moment comes, you don't need to say anything. Your energy, calm, full of life, will be the statement. Not through words, but through the state of being. Let others speculate. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them be noisy. You just need to step back, observe, be present. Because when you are silent, you see more clearly. Not only others, but yourself as well. And you realize, all judgments only reach the ego. They do not touch presence. This is not tactical silence. This is the stillness of a free mind. No longer needing control, no longer fearing misunderstanding, no longer chasing outcomes. What remains is the simplicity of each step, complete, profound, and full of vitality. The act of awakening is enough. You do not need to announce to the world that you are changing. Your stillness, the inviolable peace, is the clearest sign of maturity. So stop persuading, stop explaining, stop chasing the spotlight. Instead, sit quietly, breathe, and know that you do not need to be seen to have worth. You are worthy because you simply are, and that is enough. At the end of this journey, you do not need applause. You only need one thing, deep presence with yourself in every moment. That is something the world cannot give, nor take away. Keep that silence. Let that silence become your strength. And when you truly need to speak up, you won't need to shout, because your stillness will have already echoed.